What's going on, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to Simulation for the Nation on lovely beautiful day. We've had a delivery and I'm going to show you what that truck's been delivering in just a second there, but first of all I'm going to just jump into the telehandler, which is over here. So I'll get that and I'll come back to you and we'll have a quick explanation of what's going on this morning. Rightio guys, so we're just swapping over, taking the bale forks off from feeding up this morning. We're just going to stick the bucket on the front. I'm going to have a little bit of a drive down to the other end of the yard and we'll have a quick look-see at what's been going on here this morning. Obviously we got our pit sealed up yesterday, got that compacted and got the sheet over it, which is good news. And then we also, late last night actually, while I went out and spread some fertilizer onto the ground, we just covered. So that's going to be having its, the best chance possible to start to regrow, because I do want to get a second cut of probably hay off of that in the not too distant future, so that's going to be growing. In the meantime, we've got a little bit of work to do. The spray is going to be going out soon, so we've dropped off the regular wheels and put the row crops onto there, so that's ready to go out again. I think Barry might be taking that out when he arrives in the next hour or so. But also what we're going to be looking at today is starting to cut the grass for our silage bales. We've got a couple of fields. If I just bring up the map here, oh, that's zoomed in. So we have the new land up at 46, and then we also have down 18 and 17 down by the river here we need to cut as well, and also a little field 16 as it goes. So we've got a lot to do, and we're just going to do those for silage bales. We're going to stack those back over here, which is the reason why we're actually here now. I've hired in a couple of containers. Here you go. That's what the lorry that just left was dropping off. It's brought them in two trips one last night, one this morning. And what we're going to do, we're going to clear away all this rubbish from here and then hopefully get some hardcore in, strip this grass and these weeds out, and we're going to actually use this for something useful. In this case we're actually going to stack our silage bales up against the hedge line. This has just been building up over a while. As you can see here, it's become like a hive for, well, pretty much everything. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to get this all cleaned up. We've got two different containers here, one of which will be for scrap metal, which you can see we might need more than one given the abundance of it lying around here. And the other one is going to be for all this hardcore and rocks really that we need to try and gather up at some stage. But with that in mind, we do have a lot to do. We're going to get this all tidied up, and then we can kind of make proper use of it. This car, my dad brought this here, and I don't know if it was his old car or what, but this needs to go. I'm sick of seeing this lying around my yard. My yards don't need to be covered with this kind of muck, so we're going to get these filled up. Shouldn't take us too long to scrape this away, and then we're going to get a contractor bring in a load of hardcore, like I say, and we'll pop that down there just to give it a nice solid dry bed to stack the bales onto. So with that in mind, we're going to get going and we'll see what we can come up with. What I've just thought about it as well, before we get stuck into it too much, we're going to take away some of these tyres that are lying around the yard here as well. We don't use tyres anymore in our silage pits, so we're going to stick a few of them in here. We'll get rid of some of these, because otherwise they're just in the way, frankly. Now, I must be able to get more than two at a time into here. These are heavy blooming things. I think these are old lorry tyres, I think. And it just shows because I haven't had a lorry on this farm forever. And look at this one, this is mouldy. Shows how long it's been lying around this yard for. It's better. Okay, so we'll take these ones down. It is mightily early. I was up super early this morning just to check on the cow, the lame cow. She's doing alright, but we're going to get the vet out later on today to have a look at her. But what we'll do is, they've all been fed now anyway, so I'm just kind of, well, essentially I'm keeping myself busy until until Barry turns up as well. We can get him out with the sprayer. And as the saying goes, the devil makes work for idle hands. Ooh, slow, don't lose these. Perfect, so these can just go into this one. Excellent. Plenty more where they came from, so I'm just going to crack on with this, and then we'll come and give you a bit of a tour of what it looks like when we're finished, really. We are going to be aiming to get the silage baled and wrapped hopefully in the next day or two. So we are going to need to, I'm in two minds whether or not I'm going to just bale them in the field, bring them back here, wrap and stack them here, or if I'll wrap and stack them in the, or bale and wrap them in the field, and then lead them back here to stack them. That's a decision I'm going to have to make, but hey, we'll figure that one out. I'm going to have to find a contractor. We'll probably get the same guy, George, to come in as well, who was here lifting silage yesterday. He does have a square bale wrapper, so we might bring him back in. Ooh, I'll go past it. But we'll see. We'll see if he's available tomorrow to come in and give us a hand with that. But for now, like I say, I'm just going to finish these all off, and then we'll come back to you when we're all wrapped up and done. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Just winging my way back down to the bottom yard there where we've been cleaning up, just to make sure we haven't missed anything. The two skips have been taken away. The load or the contractors is coming back in and taking the last of those away, so everything is cleared. I think I've got all my tools gathered up as well. We're looking to have quite a nice little tidy area now. I haven't got any gravel coming in yet, and it's a little bit of stone in here already, so I'm in half a mind just to leave it as it is. We scraped away all the grass, so left a little bit by the hedgerow there just for the wildlife, but it's looking a lot better. Gives us a nice little space to actually stack some bales. Should get plenty kind of along up and a length this way. So I'm very happy about that. What I'm not so happy about, we'll jump back into the JCB. The vet has been and gone this morning, and I'm not all overly happy about the outcome. The cow in question has somehow, you may recall in the previous video I mentioned that she was lame, wasn't walking properly at all, and I couldn't quite figure out what it was. We monitored her for a while to see if she would improve. She did a little bit, but then ultimately just deteriorated further, so whatever the issue was, it didn't get better on her when she was out in the field there, so ultimately I had to bring her in. I find cattle tend to have a larger chance of recovering when they're on their own, when not being G'd up by other cattle really in the field. Particularly some of my girls around here, they're a little bit temperamental. Actually, I'm going to have to take this bucket off as well. So what we'll have a quick look at, you can see she's just standing there in her own field, in her own little pen. Sorry, we won't go too close to her because I don't particularly want to startle her in any way. Just leave that there. And we'll get out. She's looking a bit sorry for herself at the moment. That's because the vet has been in and pulled and prodded around. I have put her into her own little separate pen there, put some gates across the back towards the oil tank, and we'll get a little bit more straw put in there in the coming up in the next few days there. But she's got plenty to drink in the water tank, and we'll be giving her some extra food there on her own. But she's looking a little bit sorry for herself, and she's got every right to. Her hind right leg has ruptured ligaments inside of the leg, so she can barely put any weight onto there at the moment. So what that means is the vet has gone away, but she's actually coming back because we need to put a cast onto the leg, which is not ideal, but it's going to give her every chance to support the leg, keep it straight whilst the ligaments trying to heal. It's the only thing we can really do for her, so unfortunately that's the way it is. We can't just leave her, so we'll have to look after her as best as we can. But for now, she's going to stay on her own there, a little bit of isolation, and she'll be fine. She's got plenty to eat and drink, and hopefully she'll start to recover over the next... The vet seemed to reckon it could take about 5-6 weeks, so we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I'm going to park this up in here. We're not going to need this anymore. This is my lovely fresh hay behind me, courtesy of Mr. DuPont. Nicely stacked in there, it's enough to keep us going for a while. I forgot, if I show you this, I forgot that we were expecting today a little shower, so I'm not going to go out and, I don't think I'll go out and do any mowing just yet, because I kind of want to see what happens with that rainstorm first. If it's going to be just a little bit brief, then that's fine. I might just pop out and mow it all up after the rain comes. But if it's going to be anything significant, then I don't really want to go ahead and potentially ruin the grass. So we'll leave that as it is for now. What we will do though is we're just going to pop over and hitch the baler onto the tractor. Hasn't been used yet this season, so it'd be nice just to get it hooked up and ready. Whilst we're here, actually, we might just fill the vent up. It's a little bit low on diesel. So how you all doing? Hope you're all very well today. A massive hello and welcome to all of the new subscribers who have joined the Simulation4Nation family. Welcome along, nice to have you here. Hope you enjoy your stay. Do let me know down below what you're doing, where you're up to on your game save, whatever that might be. Always like to know. A little bit of an update for us. We'll be coming into some spring barley probably in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. We've got probably in the region of about 60 to 80 acres of hay to cut. And we've also got about 40 acres of silage that we're going to be doing today and tomorrow, which would be good to get that done. After that, then, like I say, we'll get all that stacked up and that'll be us good for the winter, and we'll be turning our attention onto some cereal crops, which would be good. I am also considering the possibility of trying to plant some, potentially some fodder beet, maybe some potatoes that I can use, either sell on to other dairy farmers or possibly use myself for the livestock, but that's something that we're thinking about. Always just assessing our options here and seeing what works out best for the farm and what we can change and improve, but we'll keep that one in mind. Barry is now away out spraying. He is up on the new land on the hill. Oh, it's not quite there. Try that again. Open my window so I can see what I'm doing here. Perfect, that should be us. Okay, we'll just sneak into here, put that on, touch the power takeoff as always. We might just edge us forward a little bit. Other than that, this can stay here for now. Shut my door, perfect. That's my silage blade in the corner, that's going to be staying there, won't be needing that for quite some time. Alright then, everything else is looking good at the moment. Yeah, so Barry is up. We can't quite see him, he's just up on the hillside there. You've got that little house in the distance, then he's up to there's two different shades of green on the hillside. He's on the very top one. So he's cracking on. This field of grass here, which was cut yesterday, or lifted yesterday with silage, has already had its dose of kind of grass boosting nitrogen applied to it. Well, nitrogen, sulfur and phosphate on this particular instance. This one and the one on the hill have already been done, which is good news. So what that means is, as I just reduce my speed down a touch there, that will allow the whole, once we get this rain today, however much, it's going to allow that fertilizer to wash in there, and it's going to really give that grass a nice kick so it can really start to grow, which is what we need. As it stands right now, everything else is looking pretty darn good. We're all kind of buttoned up. Everything is healthy, and we're just kind of waiting really. I just want to see what this rain does, and we'll see how that comes along. What I might do is, for now, just leave it as we are, and then, depending upon how this rain comes, if it's not too bad, we'll come out and we'll start mowing later on. So we'll crack on around doing a few odd jobs around the farm here, and we'll see if we can get out there for a run out with the mowers in a bit. Well, good morning, everybody. We are out nice and early this morning. Unfortunately, probably quite typically, it didn't rain until about 7 o'clock last night, by which point it was just too late for me to get out there. So we didn't get a start. That's why I'm up nice and early this morning, because ideally I'd like to try and get this baled later on today. There's a little bit of a breeze in the air. Oh, blimey, this is tight. Where's that mower of mine? Ooh, Lord, I'm going to take out Mrs. Jennings' wall there in a second. Crikey. Yeah, there was a little bit of a shower, not a lot, not to significantly derail us by any stretch, but what it did do was just kibosh any attempts of me coming out last night to finish this up. So we're gonna try and get everything done this morning. Barry's gonna come in and feed the cattle up, and I'm gonna come out and just get a good start here. And like I say, hopefully the idea being that, well, at least we'll get these two fields down here mowed and baled by the end of today. It's quite dry anyway, like I say, now there's a breeze in the air, so it's drying out. It should continue to dry any of the mowed grass out as well. So we'll get these ones knocked down and we'll see how we're looking, and we'll make our way on up the hillside. But yeah, it was quite typical and quite frustrating really, that it just didn't show any signs of clearing up or brightening up at all yesterday afternoon to warrant going back out with the mower. And then about 6 o'clock it really darkened over, and then yeah, we got about half an hour to an hour's rain, so not even enough to kind of really curtail things. But hey ho, that's farming I suppose. We're making a good start at it now anyway. These two fields won't take us too long to do. They haven't had a great deal of fertilizer on here, just one application just to give them a bit of a kick on early spring, but it should be enough just to get a good coverage here, I should expect. So we're going to finish these off. These two won't take too long at all, like I say, and then we'll head on up the hill and see what other trouble we can get ourselves into. But right now we're due to have some good sunshine for the foreseeable, so for the next 5 days, so we should be looking good. So yeah, we'll just carry on pushing on really. We'll do it in two halves because that's a bit of a stony little track up to our field behind us there. I don't want to get any of these newly sharpened mower blades well blunted, or if not bent from any rocks or stones in there. So we will push on. It won't take us too long here, but what I'll do is I'll just send the drone up above us and we can watch it, and we'll get this knocked off pretty quickly. Okay everybody, we are just going to wrap this little bit up in the corner here. It's not going to take us too long to finish up at all. I do like working these little fields down here. It's such a pretty little place to be in. With a little stream in the middle there. Nice little fields here. So it's a really good little place, and actually some good land around here. One of the reasons for that is because it's actually very prone to flooding down here. This little stream, because we're in the center of a valley, when it does rain significantly, this little river here the levels do rise quite significantly. And so when it does rise, these two fields here are prone to flooding quite a bit, as are unfortunately those houses over there. And what that will mean is that when it does rise up and flood, we can find, well, the water level obviously rises and stays through these two fields, and then cut that bit out. And then when the levels do recede again, it deposits a lot of like silt, nutrient-rich soil that have been washed off all the other fields, sadly, onto these kind of fields here. Now, what we have done previously is we've kind of, for want of a better word, harvested that soil off here, and then spread it across other fields. But it's to try and rebalance some of the nutrient levels. But these two fields are remarkably good, so you always do get a good bumper crop of grass off of here. But anyway, to stop me from rambling on too much more, we are just about done this little field here, and then we're going to just pop over and do those, I think that's about 8 acres over there. Once those are done, then we'll be heading up onto the ridge to do that one field we have up there as well. So we'll get these wrapped up fairly quickly, I should imagine. And then we'll see when we come back to do the baling. It could well be later on this afternoon. We'll just have to see. It all kind of hinges on when the rapper man's available, so we need to check in with him. But yeah, thank you very much for watching at this stage. I have been Simulation for the Nation as always. If you have enjoyed this, do remember to hit that thumbs up button, and if you are new to the channel and you haven't already done so, then please do subscribe. It really does go a long way to help everything grow nicely. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. Do remember to stay safe, enjoy what you're doing, but most importantly, happy farming.